Hi guys, welcome back to the
Oh My God podcast
with Maddie
and Ro. We're so happy that you guys are joining us today for another episode of Oh My God. I hope you guys enjoy our subject today. I think it will be applicable to everyone, and to anybody that's new, we'd like to thank you for joining us and being part of our community. Like, welcome. I hope you like it here.
Welcome to the community. Welcome to the Oh My God family.
Yeah. So today, well, I think at first I should ask you about like your week. I feel like I haven't seen you since my birthday. How was your week? We haven't spoken much this week.
My week was uneventful.
I mean, you did say after turning up all weekend that you wanted to have a slow
Definitely.
week. So
I really try to. If I'm out all week, one weekend, the next weekend, it has to be. The week has to be peaceful and all of that. Yeah.
No, I totally get it. Yeah. Okay, so nothing eventful.
No, just work.
Yeah.
Not even yoga.
Wow.
Right. No,
Girl, I feel like you need to get back to it.
I know. I was supposed to go today, but.
Well, we have business to take care of. I get it. We had business to take care of. Today was a busy day for me too. Yeah.
So definitely next week I'll get back into my routine.
Yeah.
After partying.
I know. We're too old for all this partying. But you know what? I'm grateful for rest. I think my week was pretty like restful as well.
That's good.
I did get to catch up on some of my shows. I'm actually watching like this. I really got to catch up on White Lotus. I don't know if you watched White Lotus.
I've watched the first season.
And what did you think?
It was really good.
Yeah.
But when I got to the second season, I didn't really give it a chance. But I have to catch on. I'll definitely catch.
I really like White Lotus. I think like it's such an interesting show. It's such an interesting like picture of today's society, like or the world that we live in, and like the privilege that some people have. Like, love it. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Not me putting a plug for White Lotus, but yeah, like especially like this week, like the last episode. There was something like super interesting that happened. 3 girls went on vacation, and they were like some crazy thing happened, right? So there were 3 of them. They've been friends since they were, I think, in high school. One of them like became like a famous actress. One of them like I think married rich or something, and she lives in the South.
Always good to do that.
And then, is that what you want to do?
If it comes, why not?
You know what? I'm praying this over.
If it comes, why not? I'm not. What am I gonna do? You rich. I don't want to marry you.
But yeah, like the other one is like a New Yorker. Shout out to New Yorkers out there. And they're 3 friends, and then like the actress is just like obsessed with being young, right? So there was like one of the staff members there. He was young. I think he's like a Russian guy that happens to be working in Thailand, and she was trying to push that guy on one of her friends, and then. At some point towards the end of the night, she ended up sleeping with the guy that she kept pushing on her friend. And it was like such a weird situation because the girl that married rich and that lives in the South told the New Yorker, like, oh my God, guess who I saw come out of like the actress's room? And she was so mad about it. And it felt like that there was like a whole little drama. So the actress is married. She's married to a younger person.
And was pushing the guy she just ended up sleeping with. Towards that other friend.
She didn't sleep with the guy. So it was like throughout the entire trip, she's been trying to get her friend who's from New York, who's newly divorced, right, to like sleep with that guy. And then on a drunken night or whatever, she called the guy back into her hotel room and slept with him. And then she was gaslighting her friend into thinking that she did not do it. Because like the girl who's from Texas was like, oh my God, I saw him come out of her room. And she was like, no, it didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, that's so wild.
That's not a friend.
I could never imagine my friends doing that to me.
That's not a friend.
Yeah. Again, because I think this is what made me think about, like, I thought it was like a good way to like come into our conversation today talking about friendship, because they're supposed to be in their 40s. And I'm thinking, are girls still having this type of drama and toxicity around them in their 40s? Because I think in my 30s, I don't care much for that. I don't know what you think, but...
I think that this is what happens when people don't really pay attention to the people they have around them, because what this particular actress did, I'm pretty sure she probably indicated some red flags, or, you know.
Yeah, maybe, because it's like the girl from Brooklyn was from New York. I don't know why. You know, I love Brooklyn. But this girl from New York.
I'm pretty sure she's from Manhattan in that show, but okay.
She looks like a Brooklyn girl. She looks like those Park Slope ladies, actually, you know.
Park Slope. Okay. Whatever they part to in New York, you know they go from
No.
Manhattan, right?
Okay, but that doesn't mean that everybody. Either way, let's get back to the subject and point right now. But I just feel like I forgot what I was about to say. I feel like yeah, like the girl from New York was talking about how like she's always been like that since high school.
Exactly.
And like
Why
she's
is
always
she
she
your
always wants the
friend?
attention. She's done this before, and it's like I don't know. I feel like for me, I could understand, you know, that in like your young years, but it's like in your 40s though, like why are you still friends with people like this? You know what I mean? And I think like that posed the question like, do you feel like your friendship dynamics in your 30s are the same as they were in your 20s?
No.
No. I agree.
No.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, I do have a switch into my friend group. I don't think that my friends from the past will ever do something like that to me. But it is important. In my 20s, what I was mostly looking for was just partying. And this is what we were raised to understand, right? Your friend, you need a friend to have fun. You need a friend, what?
Your parents raised you to understand that you need friends to have fun?
No, but that's all that, wait.
Because Haitian parents don't believe in fun and they don't believe in like friendship like that, you know?
Well, my dad loves friends. So I
Okay.
was used to, on the weekend, even my dad used to have a barber come into our house and he had
Yeah.
several friends come over. You know, he really likes to have his friends and have his guy time with his friends. So for me, I'm thinking in my 20s, being in New York City,
Yeah.
friendship should be, I just needed friends to go have fun, friends to do this. I didn't know really that I needed to necessarily tell them about what's going on with me. I think that the group of friends I have in my 20s don't really, they probably know that I like to lash out. They probably know I had anger issues. Oh, still probably have anger issues. They probably know that it looks like my mind used to be elsewhere and my mood will switch. But they wouldn't know exactly what Maddie was going through. They never knew that. But it was just a question of, but Maddie likes to party. Maddie's going to be out and about. Maddie's going to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, they never knew about the issues, nor did I feel comfortable sharing either. But now in my 30s, I started to understand that you should be talking to your friend about certain things. You should be creating this, feel comfortable to call my friend and share deep things that are happening to me.
Yeah.
And when I started sharing so much with my new group of friends, and I felt comfortable as well to do that, and I also noticed a change, and I'm like, oh my god, like right now today, my 30s, like obviously I'm not the type of person who will say no new friends, because I feel like as you're growing in life, people will come into your life. But I could say today,
Yeah.
I feel comfortable picking up a phone and say like, this just happened. I'm not afraid to share my flaws. I'm not afraid to say I'm not happy. I'm not afraid to say I need money. I'm not afraid. It's just that I feel comfortable with my group of friends today.
Okay. Yeah, and that's amazing. I love that. I feel like I love that about being in your 30s. I think for me, in my 20s or even before that, like, you know, in high school, like 20s and earlier, I think friendship was a lot about like popularity, like who's cool, who do you want to be around, who you can have fun with, who's fun to be around. And it was a lot like, you know, you just wanted, you know, cool friends. Whereas
in
like,
high
and I
school.
feel like you did not necessarily feel like you needed you're not necessarily looking for the depth in that friendship. It was a lot of like quantity over quality. And I think like in my 30s, that switch where it became more about quality versus quantity.
Yeah, because I've heard people say that, oh my god, if this person looks like she doesn't have a lot of friends, it means that you shouldn't trust them. Like you would be more drawn to people who look like they have so many friends, right?
Yes.
But now getting into my 30s, I'm like,
Yeah.
we had it all wrong.
Yeah, I think like in my 30s is definitely different. Like I'm very much more intentional about the friends that I have. I feel like if I meet you, or if you're my friend, or if I'm around you and I feel like you're negative, I feel like you're toxic, I don't need that. If I feel like I'm in a friendship with you and it's one-sided and I feel like my friends are not pouring into me as much as I'm pouring into them, then I also feel like I'm not interested in that. I feel like also like in your 30s, another thing that comes along is also the amount of effort that you need to maintain a friendship. Like whereas in your 20s, you had all the time in the world.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Whereas like in your
I have to
30s, it's a
schedule.
little different. Like now you have to schedule time to be
Yes.
with your friend and be like, what are you doing in 2 months? You know, like,
We
it's
literally made plans for
crazy.
the opera all during April.
I know. I feel like now that we're working on a podcast together, we see a lot more of each other. But I feel like I have my friends that I see probably like a couple of times a year, and I mean, and it's just making that effort to make time for each other and go out of our way to see each other, to talk to each other, to FaceTime each other. It's a lot. Like I think in our 20s we had all the time in the world, and we would spend time with each other. We would spend hours with each other, hours on the phone, and I think in our 30s that shifts a little bit.
Yeah, but I think that in our 30s, making sure that we have the right friends, understanding that we are compatible, understanding that, okay, maybe I was compatible with you in my 20s, but right now, this is not it. And sometimes we have to be okay with letting
go a little bit. Okay, so I don't know about you, but like growing up in Haiti, a lot of my friends that I have now are friends that I've had forever. Like I think a lot of us that are Haitians are the same thing. Like my friends, like my best friend, I've been friends with her since first grade. Like a lot of my friends, I've been friends with them since elementary school, like high school, and we're still like pretty tight. Do you feel like the length of a friendship determines like if somebody should be your best friend or your close friend?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
So I do have some childhood friends. I have my friends from high school that I'm still friends with, but there's also a lot of people that I don't talk to anymore.
You have friends from high school that you're still friends with?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Let's not get into it.
Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire, Roland?
No, because you're miss. Okay.
I'm used to it.
Cut a bitch off. You're miss cut a bitch off. So for me, I'm like, wait.
I do.
What you telling me the other day? Your dad was saying, "Oh, you have a new friend? Let's."
The same person when I started like going through my switching things up and changing friends, and my dad was like, "Maddie, are you okay? Like, what is going on? Do you need therapy or something? What is going on?" But then,
not a Haitian parent to therapy. I love that. Yeah.
I told him, "But Papi, I'm telling you, for where I'm going, I need to change my environment," because I probably sounded like a crazy person to him.
Yeah.
And then my dad got into TikTok, and then one time he randomly sent me a quote actually.
Yeah.
He said, "Maddie, maybe you're right," because the quote literally said that for you to accomplish great things, you need to be well surrounded. And I'm not saying that the group of friends I have before are bad people. I'm just saying that we were no longer compatible because. That is because people get divorced, right? That doesn't mean that person cannot go and be with someone else and making, being that person savior, So I just think that they are great people. It's just that where I was going into the new decade I was going, it was not going to be a match. And for me, it is important it's not a question of, oh, I just want to write, oh, we've been friends for 15 years. We've been friends for 20 years. Whereas the people don't know anything about your life.
I agree. I think like also we evolve too in a certain way, and I think like sometimes you need a person to evolve with you, and it's not all the time that your friend evolves with you. Like, and sometimes you just have to leave them behind. And I also think that we also have like a sentimental like value attached to that relationship because they've been in our life for so long. We've known them since we were kids. We've known them since elementary school, and we feel like that pressure to just keep them close to us.
Yeah.
And cutting them off feels like such a terrible thing to do.
And it is hard,
It
is hard, but it's just that sometimes my body was like, this is not it anymore.
Yeah.
Friendship is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Right? And being surrounded by people who make you happy, people who make you feel good about yourself, it's very important. Life is very hard, and the people that are in your life all the time, you need to be happy. This person needs to make you feel like but also they highlight my strength and anything positive about me. So that was important for me in friendship. So it's just that for me, it's not the length of a friendship, it's also how does this person show up for you, which also past friends did show up for me, but that's not the only thing. It's also how does the person also make you feel, because that's what sometimes it gets hard, because it's like, but that person, when I need help, that person is there. But then that person is not really pushing you. That person is not really
Yeah.
telling you positive things about you as well, right?
Yeah.
So also your friend should know more things about you. Should know, like for me, I know most things about my friends today. Like I always tell them, I should even know you have a red panty in your drawer. Like that's how much I want to know my friends.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very invasive. But yeah, like I think for me,
what?
you said you want to know if I have a red panty in my
Yes.
dress. You don't think that's invasive?
No, that's me
Okay.
knowing my friends.
Okay. But yet, Maddie would tell you, I can't remember people's birthday. That's not important to me.
Because I focus on the deepest part.
Yeah, and that's true. Like, she's very deep, and like she'll just ask you the wildest questions, and you're like, okay, but she won't remember your birthday though. But I still love you.
It's not what's important for me.
I think for me, like, you know what? Like I said at the beginning of this, I do have like a lot of my friends that I'm very close to now are friends that I've had forever, and I do think that like sometimes it's hard for me to just, I don't think I have the ability to let go of these relationships. I understand what you mean. I do feel like some of them I'm closer to than others. And I do think that there is that sentimentality of like, yeah, they've been in my life for so long. I don't see how I could just like cut them off. And I don't feel like they've done anything for me to cut them off. I just feel like, friends. Yeah, I just feel like, yeah, I just feel like, and you know, each of them shows up for me in different ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, we might not have like the communication that we used to have. Might not be around each other as much as we used to when we were younger. But I still think that like in tough moments, my friends would be there for me. So I feel like the ones that I don't talk to as often, the ones that I don't see as often, I feel like I kind of like upgraded them to like the family status. Like they're my sisters or my family. Like where your family, you care about them deeply, you love them, but you know, it doesn't mean that you see them all the time or you spend a lot of time with them or you talk to them all the time. It's just like, yeah, you just know that they have your back. If something were to go wrong, they're going to be there for you. And I'm grateful for my friends. But yeah, like, but I do think sometimes I wonder, because I think I was having a conversation with one of them and I was saying how like, yeah, I don't think this person, I remember like, I was having a conversation with one of my friends. I was saying like how, I don't know if I would want some of, you know, the girls that I've known forever to be my bridesmaid, like, because they don't know anything about my life. They don't know who I'm dating. They don't know who I'm seeing. Like, if they've never met the person I've dated and I decide to get married, like, why should they be a bridesmaid, right? And my friend was telling me, well, you should just do it because, like, they've been in your life forever. And, like, yeah, like, she said that. She said that. And I was like,
tell me later.
No, she was saying, like, how, like, you should just do it, you know, because, like, why not? Like, why, like, who would that hurt? Like, you would, like, hurt the person's feeling by not asking them to be a bridesmaid. But I'm like, this person has not been, yes, I care deeply for them. They're important in my life. They have a lot of value in my life. I think, like, I don't think I'm able to let them go. They're like my family, but I don't know that they played a role in my life in the past few years enough to be a bridesmaid.
A bridesmaid is not only the person should know a lot about my life, that person, I know sometimes that also fall into the maid of honor role, but no, my bridesmaid should know very well the person I'm dating.
Yeah.
I'm about to get married with. The person love, appreciate.
The person,
if you don't like my man,
you don't need to be my bridesmaid.
You're not going to be a bridesmaid.
I agree on that.
So, c'est-à-dire que this fake shit propose là, m'pas la donne. And it's okay for you to not like my man, because if my man did something to annoy you, respectfully, like this is something that you guys need to handle, and that's your choice, 100%.
I agree.
But you will not be sitting by me and witnessing me going into my life with my... You'll be invited.
But you don't have to
maybe
be
not,
sitting...
but for me, I'm very strict.
Really?
So perhaps, like for me, I don't talk to someone today because I don't like that person. Like for me, I don't like the person you're seeing. I don't believe in this. I'm out.
You're very intense about that. I don't think I'm that intense. But I do feel like, for me, I was like, I felt bad about it. Because I'm like, it's not that I don't love this person or I don't consider them a friend. I just feel like, if you don't know anything about my love life, if you don't know what I've been through with this person, and I don't know that about your life either. Yes, I feel like we check in with each other from time to time. We're like, hey, how are you doing? Whatever. But I just don't know if that qualifies you to be a bridesmaid. And I remember when she told me this, I felt a little bad about thinking that I
And you
wouldn't
should know.
select a person to be my bridesmaid.
And most
But
importantly, you need to know if the person can do the role that you're
yeah.
giving
Because
to
for
them.
me, it's not just about the image of it. Like I don't.
Right?
I feel like my bridesmaid. I feel like I want them to be people who rode through it with me and who've been right and died, who've seen me cry, who's seen me go through a lot, who's seen how I've grown, who's
Yes.
seen me
Who accepted the growth that you did,
yeah,
and
who's
acknowledge
seen,
it.
yeah. And I don't think they need to know all the struggle I went through with my man, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I need them to have been like actively present in my life in the past, like couple of years before I get married, for them to be a bridesmaid. That's just what
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So that's very important.
Yeah.
But me, I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't think I even want to meet up there anymore.
Well, you said you don't want a bridesmaid. I'm very much like a girly girl. I want the bridesmaids. I want the bridesmaid boxes. I want the color, like everybody's wearing white, like bridesmaid t-shirts.
Everything, all society created.
Yeah.
I used to be in there too.
I don't care. I don't think it's about society for me. I just feel like it's just like that has been my dream. That's always been how I imagined, me getting married, like having like a bunch of bridesmaids around me and stuff, and like having my supports. My friends, are important to me. Like them being around me. Like I always tell people, like for example, my birthday was like last week. Like I don't care about gifts. Like for me, the most important thing is like my friends showing up for me and being there for me. Because I did see a TikTok of this girl saying how she just came to the realization that like none of her friends will go out of their way to come and celebrate her, or unless she's getting married. And I thought that was so sad, because for me, like if like all of my friends, either of us, if we're graduating, if we got like a new like job, if we have like a new venture that we're starting, that's good. Like I'm sure like if we had like a big launch event for our podcast, or what do we do? That like all of them will try their best to be there. And granted, if they have things that is stopping them from coming, like they won't be there, but I feel like it's okay, it's understandable. But I think like if they can make it, they will try to make it. We've always been there for each other for major moments of our lives, and birthdays too, like birthdays, graduation. I don't think any of us got married yet, but
that's good.
Yeah, but like I'm so grateful for my friends, and I think friendship are important for me, and I think they've helped me through a lot. Like my friends are my family.
Yeah. It takes time for me before I use the term family for me, but like I definitely love the group of friends I have now, and I am paying attention, and obviously as we go, we'll see, but I'm always open to meet new people too, because I feel like I've met so many people along on my journey that just helped me so much, and if I was so focused on being best friend and staying friends with what I'm used to, I would have never grabbed that,
I do think that's a good thing too, to kind of like venture out and have new friends, because I feel like bringing new people in my life has shown me a different style of friendship, because sometimes you're friends with somebody for a long time and you take that friendship for granted, and some people take it for granted and don't feel like they need to pour into that relationship the way they should, and you go and you meet new people and they pour into you so much, you're like, wow, okay, like I didn't realize that could have been a thing, and I feel like sometimes it's good to just meet new people and experience,
especially when I was depressed, like
and experience a different type of like friendship.
It was just I'm not afraid to say it, Tatiana was just played such a big role.
Oh girl, that's my bestie. Back off. Anyways. Anyways, let's go back to you were saying how my best friend.
Oh my God.
How my best friend was very much there for you. That's why she's my best friend.
I've known Tatiana for a long time,
but I've known her longer than you.
Because you're older.
Fuck you. What? Are you serious? Okay.
C'est vrai, c'est pour ça, tu la connais.
No, I know her.
Tu es à l'école, mes parents sont amis avec ses parents. Je connais Tatiana depuis que j'ai... I'm not sure, like...
Either way,
10,
doesn't matter.
11?
Yeah.
Let's hear
about how my best friend was, like, good to you. Because that's why she's my best friend.
Yes,
but okay, go ahead.
Around that time, she was just so good to me, and this is exactly what I needed, and she's very nurturing and was able to really give me that, and hear the nonsense, I would say, on the phone, right? So it's just like, if I was because the group of friends I had at the time, I don't think they would understand that, right?
Yeah.
So I just felt so comfortable telling her everything that just was going through my head, and that's when I'm like, okay, because everybody, or even you're my friend, so I'm very open. But as I'm very open, my former group of friends, they don't know anything about me.
No way. I can't believe.
No.
I have a hard time believing.
That's when I realized how secretive I can be.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
But how are you friends? Because you literally talk about everything about your life. Like, Maddie will literally be pooping and be like, I'm sitting on the toilet and pooping and I'm enjoying it. And I'm like, this is a little bit too much information for you right now. Like, I don't think I want to hear about this. I really don't. That's like too much information.
I think they will probably know that, but I'm just talking about deep things hunting you, things, because I think the only thing they could see was just that I lash out, anger issues, angry most of the time, my mood swings and stuff like that. But they never knew why.
Do you feel like it's because like you didn't feel like safe enough to have tough conversations with them? Because it's like, can somebody be your friend if you can't have tough conversations with them?
So maybe that's what it means, because I never opened up about certain things.
Yeah.
Whereas I met this girl later on, and this girl just knows so much.
Maybe she created a safe space.
And I tell her that all the time.
When
I told her for the first time, I'm like, I never told this person about this, and she would go like, huh? But I'm like,
interesting.
Or maybe as well, I was not ready to share. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I just didn't recognize. I came to realize that as open as I am, I'm very secretive. As open, like, that was very crazy to me to realize. But I also see that I just open up to people who make me feel comfortable to share certain things.
I do think that, like, in order for you to just be having certain conversations with somebody, you need to be able to have that safe space where this person makes you feel comfortable enough for you to open up, or this person feels trustworthy, where you can share your deepest, craziest thoughts with them. And also, like, that safety also comes from feeling like, I can tell you anything, and I feel like you will not judge me, you will not see me in a bad light, and you will not, like, because it's like, I feel like I can tell my best friend anything, and I feel like even with you too, I feel like I can have tough conversations with you.
No, we do,
and I think like that's the thing that I love, because I don't think I can have that with everyone.
She goes after me so many times.
But you do too.
Do I? I'm a saint.
Does she look like one? Everybody that knows Maddie, please tell me in the comment
if she's a saint.
But on bouge. But like, all I'm saying is that, like, I do think you need to have that safe space in order for you to just feel free to communicate freely with somebody without feeling judged, or without feeling like this person will hate you for it.
And being able to have tough conversation, you can see how, like, some positive things about me, some friends can actually adapt certain things, right? I've had friends who said, like, Maddie, and I remember the first time somebody told me that, she said, you helped me so much with my self-confidence. I was like, don't say that to me. Like, I was so much younger, so I didn't understand that how somebody could help you with your self-confidence. I was like, Michelle, you did your thing. Like, what are you talking about? But I came to realize is that as you living your life, some people are looking at you, right? And some people might adapt certain things. So I came to realize that I need to be friends, because I don't think I'm perfect. I don't think I know better.
Yeah.
So the same way somebody can learn from me, I need to be friends with people that I know that I can take this part of her life and replicate it into my life and do better with certain things.
Yeah. And that's good. Like, being able to learn from your friends, like, is a big thing. I think, like, I like to be friends with people that inspire me. I feel like if you don't inspire me, I don't know that I could be. I mean, I'm not saying I know that I can have you, like, in my circle. I can be friends with other people, but, like, being in my tight circle, I feel like I need to have a certain level of respect. I need to have a certain of, like,
respect is a big thing
influence,
for me. A lot of people sometimes think that, I feel like you don't respect me, and I'm like, just because I'm your friend, I respect you, because I can't be friends with people I don't respect.
You need to inspire me at a certain degree. Yeah. I think for me, when I was younger, I had a hard time. Like, I think it was hard for me to have tough conversations with my friends. I think some of them, not all of them, because I feel like I'm typically somebody that's pretty critical, but I think, like, for me, where that like reservation from having conversations with some of them was is like for, you know, like because I've been friends with my friends for a long time, I think like sometimes by saying certain things, like they would take it like badly and they would not respond to it well. So I feel like in my head, I'm like, okay, well, this is not a person that I can just be 100% with. And like, if you did something to me that I felt like was hurtful, I don't feel safe coming to you and saying like you did that. I rather just brush it off the rug and like maybe move on, and just tell myself that you did not intend to do this to me because you love me and you're my friend. But like I think as I became older, I have been making it a point to tell myself I need to be able to have these tough conversations with my friends. And if I cannot have that conversation with you, then I don't know if we should be friends in the first place.
No.
Yeah.
And right now, me and maybe, you know, I was talking to my friend about like I'm looking for my soulmate friend, and she goes, maybe you already have your soulmate friend and then you're just too busy looking
I'm
to
your
realize
soulmate friend.
oh, she's going to fight you.
So you know that already. You already know that.
So
because this was so serendipitous, you know? It was one of those unlikely friendships because
No,
Maddie thought I hated her when I first met her.
I was too much.
Oh, she holds this over my
I
head
do.
because I told her she was too
You
much.
don't tell that to people. But like,
Listen.
I understand at your age why you said that, but us today in our 30s, you don't tell people they too much. You have to be specific, and you know, and it's okay as well to understand that right now we're not compatible, but don't make people feel bad about themselves about the way they are, you know.
Yeah.
But Ro is an amazing friend.
Thank you.
Yes, but this particular friend is just that with her, we know. I'm like, if we have deep conversation, if you're talking to me about me, I might get defensive, but give me a second and I'll get back to it, right?
Oh.
So we share these things. So we tell each other, like for example, she started dating somebody, she said, Maddie, if you see me losing my mind, bring me back. I'm going to fight you, but bring me back. And I'm like, okay, I'll bring you back, you know?
Yes.
So it's just that it's okay to know how we get when having tough conversation, and it's okay to also share that with our friends, because some people, depending on their personality, if they try to have one tough conversation with you and you react so badly and they're like, wow, they might not come back.
That's kind of how I feel. Like I feel like if I've had a conversation with you and you did not take it well, then I just tell myself like, okay, I just can't have these type of conversations with you, because if I'm telling you something and then you feel like hurt by it or you feel like I'm attacking you, then it's like there's no reason for me to keep having this conversation. You're just not that type of friend that I can have tough conversations with. It's fine. We can be the friends that have fun and everything and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Where we're very surface level, and that's kind of what we do.
Because
you know?
it's like my inner group of friends, I want to see us shine, right?
Yeah.
And if I feel like a trauma is stopping you from doing certain things, something from because knowing you is to know that, you know, like for me, I know I can self-sabotage. I can know this friend might self-sabotage. And it's okay for me to say like, are you self-sabotaging or is this? Instead of taking it as an attack, you should know yourself to know, I can because my friend will be like, Maddie, am I self-sabotaging? You need to know that about yourself. So when I come and tell you, is this that? Is this?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, why would you come and tell me this? Why did, you know?
Yeah, like I feel like I've had instances with you where you're like, do you feel like you're just being triggered, or do you feel like you have some past trauma? And I'd be like, what are you talking about? But like, I feel like knowing that, like, you know, you're coming at me with this, like, as a friend, and you know me, and you're trying to, like, you want the best for me, I'm able to take a step back. Like, yes, I might be defensive at the beginning, but I tell myself like, yeah, like, I'm going to take a step back and analyze, why would she ask me this? Like, why would she think that this is where it's coming from? And sometimes you're right, and sometimes I can also come back and be like, no, I know myself, and that's absolutely not what it is.
Exactly.
You know? And I feel safe to be like, yeah, no, but I also feel like comfortable, like knowing that like you're not telling me this to attack me. And I think that's what's important with you. And also my best friend Tatiana, like we will literally call each other out on things. And
Tatiana Mobosado. Yeah, Tati.
A lot of us like will literally start, you know, like we would yell at each other, and some of our friend group would see us yell at each other and think like, oh my God, what's going on? This is overwhelming. But I'm like, this is our process. Stay out of it. Like we will literally yell at each other, and tomorrow we'll be like, babe, what do you want to eat? Like this is our dynamic. And I feel like we just need to release it, address it. And once it's done addressing it, we might not be on the same page at the end of the conversation, but we're okay moving forward. We're not holding a grudge. It's just, it happens, you know.
One thing you said earlier, talking about how sometimes you'd be like, yep, maybe you were right, Maddie, about this, or sometimes you'd be, no, I know myself, this is not what it was. And why I want to focus on this too, because it's important to know yourself, because some friends will project.
Oh my God, yes.
They will project on you.
I agree.
They will project their insecurities. They will project their unhappiness, their brokenness, everything. Sometimes it's like they're talking to themselves through you. So if you don't know yourself, and especially let's say that day you're not in a good mood, you're already feeling like crap, and that's that day that this friend calls you and just start projecting, and you don't know yourself, you just basically going to take it all in and just get into that hole, and it just doesn't help. So it's very important.
Yeah.
Because now friends projecting.
Friend projecting is big. Should we talk about like some friendship icks? Or what do you think? Like, what are some of your friendship icks?
Competing.
Yes. Okay, elaborate.
Just that some friends, if they feel like they achieve certain things, they're happy to see that you're not where they at.
Whoa, that's wild.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just, I do feel like
that's a common thing. I think like already in our culture, in the Haitian culture, like Haitian people don't like to see you do better than them already. And having friends who think like that too can be like it's sad.
And you know, I think that it's okay to want to get to a certain place, or where this particular friend is at. But for me, I don't have any problem being friends with people who are at different part of their life than me, or who have more than me, because at some point I just wanted to make X amount of money, and if there's not somebody around me who's making more than that, how am I going to know sometime how to go further up?
This is where I think you said this at some point, where your environment like really matters a lot. Like, cause like if like nobody around you is accomplishing certain things, like then like you're not telling yourself I need to be at that level. Like when I was younger, like I think for me, I'm not saying that I was comfortable, but I literally, my friends are very much go-getters, and I think like being around them, I felt like we had this low-key competition, not necessarily competition, but it was like more like we're by everybody like doing their thing, positive competition, like by everybody like being on top of their shit. Everybody felt like, damn, everybody's on top of their shit. I don't want to be that person that's left behind. This happened to me. One friend was like, "Oh, I'm about to apply for this job, and this is the amount of money I'm asking." And I was like, "Okay, go for it." I'm like, Maddie, what you doing? I'm like, wait, is that where I should be at? Yeah. Because at the time I'm comfortable. I'm not paying for rent, because there's also that what you need to be doing, or your expenses, all of this matter as well too, thinking that you need more money. And at the time I had enough money to travel. I wasn't paying. I lived with my grandmother, and I just was like, oh, okay, that's the next step, but I didn't go home be like, why am I doing this? Why is she doing this and I'm not doing this? She's lucky and I'm unlucky. No. Lord, yes. It's okay to want to be there, but don't spend time on go to the drawing board, get back to work. Yeah. She can do it, therefore I can too, like. I mean, that's also a good thing, but I think the other side of this too, it goes back to like knowing yourself. Just because your friend is doing this, it doesn't mean that that's what's right for you. Right? Because I think like for me in my 30s, like I love my friends. They went through the process of like wanting to build like their business, and I remember one of my friends when I told her like I don't think I want to be like a business owner and everything, and she was like, what? But like, no, I see you as a business owner, I see you like as a CEO, whatever. And I was like, no, because for me when I thought about it, I thought like, okay, like being like starting my business like in consulting, because that's kind of like the field I was in. I'm like, that's not what I want for myself, and the idea of having that was like caused me a lot of anxiety. And a lot of my friends were going that route, right? They were starting their businesses, they were starting their consulting firms, and I was like, damn, like I don't think I want that. I know I want my own thing, but that's not what I want. Like this life is not what I want. Like being a CEO of this type of company is not what I want. Yeah, that's not your industry. And anyway. I felt so guilty about not wanting that for the longest time, because I think that one interaction made me feel like, no, I did not know my worth. But then I realized it's not me not knowing my worth. It's just, it's okay if my vision of success does not look like whatever theirs is. Like, it's okay for me to just still want my own thing. And I still don't, I'm not 100% sure what my own thing looks like, right? And I'm figuring it out right now. I'm still in the process of figuring it out. But I had to do a lot of like work on myself, a lot of journaling, a lot of self-growth to realize like, it's okay that I don't want whatever they have. It's okay that I don't want to start a fintech company. It's okay that I don't want to be have an independent consultant.
That's their thing. You need to find your thing.
I need to find my thing. Correct. And I think it's important you can be inspired by your friends, but it doesn't mean that you have to do exactly what they're doing.
Like, be inspired by their drive. Yes. Be inspired by the discipline that it takes.
Their ambition.
To be where they at. By their consistency. By they're wanting more and pushing and crying but still getting up, back on the horse and going but look into what got them where it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need this, because I think Jay Shetty in a podcast was saying it's okay to be jealous. It is a human thing. I think something like this. But when you're jealous of someone, you need to think, when you look at somebody's life, the work they did to achieve what they do.
Am I doing it?
Can you do it? Because
can I and am I doing it?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's one thing is that I don't want people to be jealous of me for getting things done and pushing, because I went through so much to get to where I am at today. Yes. And it's real. I did not go outside and somebody just handing me things. It was me.
You worked for it.
I had to rush to the bathroom crying, screaming, can't sleep at night. I literally had an instance where I left work. I literally stopped in the middle of the road to let a car come after me because I just didn't want to go back to work.
Actually, don't say these things online. No, they might put you in an asylum.
No.
Are you serious?
No, but it happened. Yeah. It just that because like my field, the companies that I wanted to work for, it just so much. And when I went for it, it just, I had to try to put myself in uncomfortable situation for that growth. And I don't think that it is fair for people to be jealous of all this work that I had to do to get there, right?
Yeah. I think like in general, like that's one of my friendship icks, like friends being jealous, because you know what, that I was watching the ASAP Rocky trial.
Oh my God.
That's a perfect example of this toxic jealousy. Oh, like this man was so mad that ASAP Rocky left him behind. This is the thing, it's like they're so mad, they're not taking into accountability the work that they did not put in. They probably thought like, oh, ASAP got lucky, he ended up meeting like Rihanna, and like probably didn't realize like the rooms that he put himself in, like because before he met Rihanna, he was putting himself in like these fashion rooms and doing all of this things.
His style is...
He wasn't just doing like rap stuff, you know what I mean? And I think he got himself out of where he was before, was able to better himself. And this man hated him so much and was so jealous that he tried to take him down. That's wild. Imagine how jealous somebody has to be and how much a friend has to hate you to like frame you for... I don't remember. I don't even know exactly what the trial is.
He tried to kill him or something like that?
Yeah, he said something about he tried to kill him or pulled a gun on him. Almost caused him to go to jail because of your jealousy. That's a wild thing to me.
And this is the thing. You need your friend today. Do they like you?
Do they like you? You need to be careful. Because sometimes the signs that they don't like you will
it's so apparent.
It will so be.
It is
like
so
sometimes
apparent.
You miss it, but it's like if you pay attention, you will realize it. Yeah.
It's... I think at one time a friend was like, oh, but you do act like you don't have money problem. I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean I do? I wasn't raised to... It's not a question I have so much money. It's a question of I don't believe in
worrying
money. Yeah. Because I think it's...
But okay, is that an unfair statement? Like, if you don't worry about money, like she said you look like it. She didn't say you don't have money problems.
No, she said it's the tone.
Oh, okay.
It's a tone, it's just like because for me, it was like, okay, so that's what you're paying attention on. And I've heard things after that made me realize that, okay, I wasn't crazy around the time when the person told me this. But it's just that for me, I wasn't raised to just be like, oh my, that's just not my way.
Because you're not coming from a place of scarcity. You're not coming from a place of neediness. You've always had whatever you needed, right? Somebody who comes here who probably doesn't have a supportive parent, who probably doesn't have like the support system that you had, like, and who's on survival mode is just thinking, damn, I'm struggling. Well, meanwhile, this girl is going, like, you know.
I might not be struggling for money, but I struggle with other things.
Yeah, you struggle with other things, but everybody struggles. They're struggling with money.
Yeah.
And they were not raised like you, where it's like money will come eventually. You just need to do whatever you need to do. It will all work itself out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I don't know that necessarily makes them. I think, like, in a moment, yeah, it might sound like jealousy. But again, I don't know what tone they used. But it's like, I don't know. Because I think, like, there could be that moment of, like, if we're going to brunch all the time and you don't have problem paying for brunch, and I have a
Well, if I leave my house, I need money. I'm not going to leave my house to go to brunch if I don't have money.
You're right. You're making a choice to go to brunch.
I'm making a choice.
You're right.
I check my bank account before leaving my house, right?
You're right.
So, but yeah, so make sure you pay attention to your surrounding, because there's stuff I be hearing and I'm like, this is your right hand?
Yeah.
And this is your best friend?
Yeah.
There's things I hear and I'm like,
I know.
Do you have any other icks?
so I said,
I remember you sent me a video one time.
which one?
About this girl. This girl that went to Europe or something with her friend.
Oh.
And you were like, if somebody ever did this to me, what was the story again?
She went to Europe with her best friend,
Yeah.
and the friend met a guy abroad and ditched her for...
Oh, ditch her the entire trip for the friend.
And the thing is, I answered to her. I literally... Honestly, I know some people do
But you
things
commented
for...
on her
No,
video?
I didn't comment. I messaged her on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Because, guys, people do things for show. I cringe so much when I watch this video. And I'm like, okay, I'm not about to get upset right now because of somebody just doing things for show. Because it could be like, pause this, pause, my friend did this. So I messaged her. I said, wait, what I just saw, is it real? And she said, yes. And I was...
She replied
to me, Jola, and I was really sad about it. I was like, girl, you better without that friend now. Like, I was like... I messaged her. Well, I was just so annoyed. I messaged her. I did this really happen? I messaged her. Did this?
Okay, let's say I go on vacation with you. We're in Europe, and like some rich daddy comes in and is like, I want to take you out. Should I say no?
No, that's not how it works. No.
Okay. Because I want to be clear, because I want you to be happy that somebody wants to spoil me and take me out
to Europe this
while
summer,
we're on vacation.
We're going this summer. We're going to be where the rich are at, so I need you to find me access to yacht. Listen, your friend gets married to a millionaire, billionaire, guess what? You have access to. So, things happen. You go away, you meet people, you know, that's one of the perks of traveling and going something. So I do think that you should meet someone.
So in what scenario does it become unacceptable for me?
It's just that when you forget the purpose of your trip.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Yeah.
So it could be that you going, Maddie, oh my God, this guy really want to go on a date with me. Because first of all, are you going to necessarily go out with a guy just like this without your friend even in the same restaurant? Because this is the first time you're seeing it's still a stranger abroad, so that's very important. But also, if you do go on that date and you see that you like the guy, I would think like more bring in the person into the experience.
Yeah, not just like hijacking the whole trip and being like making the whole trip about this one person you just met. Like, I agree. I think you can go on a date, meet the person, and then maybe if you go on a second date with this person, it's a group thing where your friend can come along, or you just tell them no. Like, I feel like I totally agree.
No, because it's like...
You cannot be giving them all your time. Also, I feel like that makes you look a little desperate anyway.
Yeah, no. You don't teach your friend. It could be like, oh, tonight, because you spend time with because me, when I'm away with friends, I do feel like we do need some time apart, some time to really have us time. And it's okay, especially if you're going on a trip and there's like 2 to 3 people. If you were to take a day out and go on a date, because before I go abroad, I literally usually have my hands on. If you know there's a chance
not anymore.
But so it's okay if you want to go on a date. It just can be all, be planned. It's not just a question of out of the blue, you're dating a guy abroad, out of the blue, I don't even know where you're at. For us to really divide, I think that's unacceptable. But I think that if you meet someone that's beautiful, if you meet someone especially you like, and that might be the one, that's awesome. But you don't have to just ditch your friend.
I think that's fair.
But my friend did that to me.
I know. I just feel like ditching your friend in any scenario is bad. I think like even like sometimes girls will just like get in marriages and like ditch their friends, and it's like exactly. Yeah, no, because I feel like for me, I think that's wild. Like I think like me and Maddie always have this conversation. For me, I think having your friends, like, I just don't want my dynamic to change when I get into a relationship.
You always say that because I'm thinking like I'm not ready for marriage.
Yeah,
you act like you're about to run
yeah.
a season.
And I've been in a long-term relationship before, and that's the dynamic I had. And I know that not everybody's okay with that. For me, I want to still be able to like hang out with my friends, like go out, and obviously that will decrease to a certain level. Like if I used to go out like, you know, every weekend, it's probably not going to be every weekend anymore. There's going to be some type of like modification in like that lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I want to be able to have my own group of friends. I want to be able to have time with my man, have time with my friends.
Chaque weekend, one nigga.
No, tout le temps. Like I feel like it's too much. To me, I don't believe in ditching my friends for a man because my friends have been there with me through thick and thin. This man,
and I've been single most of my life,
yes.
been in relationship, and all of the time I spent alone, my friend were there for me.
They're probably your sanity. They probably like were grounded you. And I think like we also saw a video the other day about this old lady talking about how it's important for you to keep your girlfriends even if you're married, because they're going to be the ones that are going to pick you up when you're down, when you're depressed. They're going to come keep you up. Like when you have kids, they might be the ones that are here to help you, like, you know, with that child, like be your support system, be your community.
Mandy says she's not, but me, I already told her I'm dropping my kid in front of her house, ringing the bell and ditching him when I need a day off with my husband.
But because guys, if
I'm
I don't want kids,
I'm dropping these kids off, ringing the doorbell. The moment she opens the door, I'm being deuces. I'm going on a date with the boo.
My question is,
what's happening.
If I don't want kids, should I be taking care of people's kids?
Because you're my friend, right? And friends support each other. And I feel like for me, I love my girls ride or die. And I think like my best friend, I know that like sometimes I keep telling her she needs to move to New York so that like we can, you know, like have like be together all the time. When I have kids, I can just drop them off at her place. And when she has kids, she can do the same thing. I think like I saw this TikTok or this video of this girl talking about how, you know, she created a house next to her best friend and they have like a tunnel where they can go back and forth for each other's house. And I sent it to Tatiana, like my best friend, and I was like, that should be us, right? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, we should
I should say that. Like I should live around my friends.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because your friends are your support system.
Yes.
They're gonna be here for you. They're gonna be your therapists. They're gonna be your nurses. Like
I tell my friends everything now. So I need that. Like I don't think my boyfriend wants to hear because I'll be on the phone and I'm like, Lynn is calling, Ro is calling, and we're like, okay. And I'm like,
but also think about the amount of pressure that you're putting on a relationship when your person is your everything. Because it's like,
I don't want to be your everything. I'm not your everything.
Your man should not be your everything. That's too much pressure to put on one person. I don't want to be a man's everything. So I think it's only fair for you to share the, like, you know, the load within the people that are in your life. Like, I feel like just like you have friends that do different things for you, I think like your husband needs to be there for you at a certain level, but I think you also need to be able to have a whole support system, a whole community that helps you through it. By eliminating them, like you're just putting all that burden on your partner.
The Bible said when you get married, you become one, and I think we take that. That's the only thing they actually understood from the Bible. Most of the time, you had to become no. I think that marriage relationship is two individuals who had different interests, different goals, and who decided that we want to continue life together, continue to grow together. But there might be things I don't want to do with you, and you need your boys to do that with you.
Okay, I feel like I'm not saying that your relationship is bound to fail, right? But I think like let's say you make this person your everything, all your life, your life is centered around this person. It means that without this person, like you might crumble. There's a big chance of like you crumbling. Like you need to be able to just have your own life. Like for me, I want to still be able to do the things that I used to do when I was dating, like continue to have my hobbies, continue to maintain my friendship, and also have my relationship with my person.
No, I know, like for a birthday weekend, my boyfriend was like, but Subom weekend 10. I was like, well, I told you it was Ro's weekend. Yeah. And I was going to be away, you know. But at the same time too, I'll be on the phone with Ro, and I'm like, oh, this is my time to go talk with this person, you
Yes.
know?
And I do understand that that dynamic will change when I have, because I think like when my best friend got married, it was important for me to be like, it took a while because she would say like sometimes I would tell her let's hang out, let's go out to dance, and I would be like, I honestly I
You
didn't
really,
notice.
no, I
it.
know that joke. You really
Yeah.
reach out to her at mid 11
But
midnight?
it's like that's the dynamic we used to have
A
before.
married
It's like-
woman. She reached out to her best friend at midnight because she told me, she was like, and then she said, she turned around to her and she said, wait, we really don't understand. I got married, right?
And I feel like I wish she told me. I don't even know if she told me this, but it's like it took me a while because of course that has been our dynamic
Yeah, for so long.
And I think it took me like learning that like this person is married. We're not going to do things the same way.
It might not be
step
up,
back.
On the go like this anymore sometimes.
We need to plan this.
Yeah.
I can't show up. I used to be able to show up at her place anytime I want, call her anytime I want. Now I know that I can't do these things anymore, And I think like that's a fair dynamic change. But cutting off your friends and like making your man your center of your life. Kote ubaka so ti sanegu, ubaka breed
Can I read this person? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Do you have a
you
tail?
need that level of separation. You need to have your own life. That's just what I believe in. And I don't think I could be with a man who wouldn't be okay with that.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not like, I'm my man when I need to be.
Man. Oh,
when I
like,
need to be, It's
yes.
like Ro would think that when I message my boyfriend, she'll be like,
I think she's joking most
she
of the
thinks
time.
I'm joking because she sees me more in a tough act all the time. And I'm like, why would I be tough with the person that I love?
Yeah,
So when I'm
she's
saying,
like very much
baby,
a lovey-dovey person.
I'm very, and I think,
Jean-Malik, and then
what's happening?
when she's with her, man, she's like, baby. And I'm
So
like,
that's the thing. So I'm my man when I need to be my man, right? But sometime as well, it's my girls. I need to talk to Tatiana. I need to talk to Ron. I need to talk to Lynn, Leticia. Like I need to make my time, and I want to have my group friends out, my travel. I need to be able to travel with my friends.
I need to have those girls trips.
Yeah.
And I need my man to be okay with this. And this is why for me, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I can't trust you, I don't think I can be in a relationship with you. I cannot be paranoid. I need you to be able to trust me. I need to be able to trust you. I need to be able to trust that when you go on your boys trip, we're not having these passport bro situation. Just like I need you to trust that when I'm with my girls, where I'm going to be respectful of you, right? That trust is very important for me in a relationship. And I think like if you don't have that, then it's hard to have that type of dynamic. So that's one deal breaker. If I can't trust you, if you've done anything that made me doubt your trust, like broke my trust, I cannot be in a relationship with you anymore. Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Okay, so we talked a lot about things that like friendship icks and like friendship red flags. What are some good characteristics of friendship, or maybe examples of like friendship green flags?
I think loyal friends, genuine love, thoughtfulness, accountability. And I say accountability as a big thing because if when we're having our disagreement, I need to understand that, okay, this happened. I know once I sit down and have a conversation with this person, she's going to be like, oh, I see exactly what I did there. I'm sorry. And this is what, So accountability is a big thing. Genuine love, loyalty. I think these are my...
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I can agree on the same for me. Like, I think loyalty is major. I think like people being thoughtful and like, I think for me, I've been in a lot of situations with friends where I'm very loving. Like I will give my friends 150%, and I don't always feel like I've always gotten that back. And I think in my 30s, it's important for me to like not have one-sided friendships, and having that thoughtfulness. Like people doing things that feel like it's about me. They're doing it because they think that will make me happy, right? Like you thought about me by having this action. I think like also being present for me, like showing up for me, like is also important because you have people who just never care to make the effort to show up for you, and you're always showing up for them. So for me, that's a characteristic of a good friend.
Yeah, and also when you have your issues, not like invalidating your feelings or saying that, this I have more issues than that. This is nothing.
Like it's like those friends that like you're always like there to listen to their problems, and when you need them to listen to yours, they're not available for you.
No, now I match energies.
Yeah.
Well, I think that I feel like I used to always need to have my guards up with friends, but now I think I still fight because there's still some triggers, like when some people do things and it just sends me back to these type of friendship I used to have. But I think that my my walls came down a little bit, and I'm still working
Yeah.
on taking them down and being even more open with my friends with certain things.
I think reliability and trustworthiness too for me. Like I need to be able to trust you. I need to be able to trust that, you know, I can tell you something and that you will not come at me for it. I need to be able to trust that like whatever I tell you, the whole world is not gonna hear about it. Like, you know, I feel like that's important for me. You also being reliable, knowing that like if I know I'm in this tough situation, I know this person 100% will show up for me, you know?
And also, especially when you're in a group of friends, not like each friend's talking shit about you behind, you know, your back type of situation, you know? And most of the time, the issue comes from not being able to have these tough conversations because I don't think what happened is they have to say it to someone and they're afraid to have a conversation with you. So they go, other people. And that's what creates gossip too. It's just that you need to start, it's okay to me, you need to start having that conversation with that particular person first. Then maybe you can say, oh, this is what happened and stuff like that. And so with me today, I need to be able to be blunt with my friends.
I agree.
Like I've told my friend, like, I don't like you in a relationship. I said that. Like, I love your relationship. I don't like the behavior of you in a relationship, you know? But I really like the person you're dating. I really like this and I really like that. But I don't necessarily like how you are when you're in a relationship, right?
So have you ever had any friendship breakups?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you're not gonna elaborate? You're just gonna say yes and that's it?
Yes. Breakups, meaning as in I told them I don't want to be friends with them?
As in like, yeah, you were friends with them and you're no longer friends with them anymore.
I stopped talking to my group of friends.
Just like that?
I did. It was a 24-hour thing. I woke up the next day and you're like, talk to them ever again.
No explanation.
No explanation. That's my bad. I should have probably said so.
That's such a wild thing. You see, when I tell people that Madly and the block button are best friends, people don't believe me.
I honestly didn't even know I was going to do that.
You just woke up and you're like, I don't want to be friends with these people.
My body didn't want to be friends with them anymore.
And then you just decided.
It was an internal thing.
You didn't even tell them, I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
No. I just stopped talking. I just stopped talking to them, which obviously now I'm more mature. It should have been a conversation, right? But I woke up. I got on the group chat. Because I usually be the one to say, hey, good morning, you know? And I wrote the message. I couldn't send it.
Oh, wow.
The next day, I think I spent a month going into that group chat. And my body just
was not.
Until today, I cannot explain what.
So how did you feel after that breakup?
It took me some time because at some point I was like, wait, what's going on with me? Am I losing it? Because I do know, like, I don't know, am I having some type of mental thing, right? But but more and more and more time passed and I just didn't want to reach out. And nobody reached out to me too. So, which, you know, later on I found out to people, they were like, these girls were not your friend because nobody reached out to you to see why you were not reaching out to them. Yeah. But I didn't think that way. But again, people who know about it, that was their feedback on that. But it just, my body didn't. Honestly, my body didn't want to be friends.
But you didn't like feel like you missed them afterward or anything?
I think I did miss them because these were people I talked to every day, but something was blocking me.
Yeah, maybe you were just ready to like leave that part. Like you maybe the friendship didn't serve you anymore, and you felt like you needed to release it.
And you know, I think that I see them thriving and going through their next step and doing things, and I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm able to
be happy
from afar, but as of today, do I miss the friendship? No.
Okay.
It's just that I prefer the group of friends that I have today.
Okay.
And it's not that they are bad people. It's just that.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, you're in different stages of your life and you need something different, right? And I think you were very drastic about it. You were like, I'm just going to cut it off. Some people just drag it and kind of like get themselves new friends and like slowly phase out of that relationship.
Maybe that's what I should have done. Because I'm thinking it probably should. But again, I did not say that tomorrow I'm going to. It was not a plan at all. Or maybe some discussion happened that just maybe was my last. I was like, okay. But I know I'm very drastic, but today, the way my life switched after, and all the blessings that came after made me realize that these were things I needed to do for myself.
Okay.
And also, I don't think that was a right friend for them, and I don't think that
It was a right
friend for me. And I think that everybody now are in their respective group and thriving.
Okay, I'm happy that you realized that and that you're okay with that.
Katsubusa.
Okay.
What about you?
I feel like I've only had like one major friendship breakup. I was really close to that one person, and honestly, I don't really know why we stopped being friends. I think we were in school together, and then we were not in school anymore together, and we slowly stopped hanging out with each other. And I feel like we both had some resentment that we were not like making an effort to just be around each other as much as we could have had, and then just something silly happened that just made us break up. But we never really fully got out of each other's life. I feel like for me, this is a thing with me. Maybe it's a toxic trait I have. Like she's like my family now, but it's like I don't know that
You
friendship.
do say that sometimes you put them on the family level.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll cut off everybody.
I have a
family
hard time cutting
member,
off
cousin.
people. It's just me, you know, and it's just as the same thing. Like I think like maybe it's a thing I need to go to talk to my therapist about, because it's the same thing with my relationships, romantic relationships too. Like I will break up with somebody, and I'm not gonna say I have a relationship with them. I am just friendly, you know.
No,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
like I'm
But
like,
maybe they
yeah,
didn't do
I see
anything
you.
wrong.
I'm happy to see
Yeah.
you. I'm happy that you're thriving. Like I will say happy birthday to you. It doesn't mean that I hate you. Like it doesn't mean I want to be, you know, back to whatever we had. But it's like for me, I don't really like having bad blood with anybody. Like I think for me, I'm just like, okay, we had whatever we had. I'm grateful for it. I'm moving on. Like, you know, it was great for the time that we had. And now I'm able to be grateful for it and be happy for you in whatever phase of your life that you are, and keep you in my life to a certain degree. But then I leave it to that. Like, I'm not going to try, like, but the thing is, I'm going to stop making effort. Like, I'm not going to make the effort to just, you know, be there for you the way I used to be there when we were close, you know? But it's like, I care for you still.
Cut on Instagram. Cut.
No,
cut.
Kunta, I know that about you.
I was talking to my cousin. My cousin was like, you didn't talk to your cousin for 6 years? You're serious?
Yeah,
My cousin was
now
like,
that I know you, I'm not even surprised.
my cousin was like, no, because I was just talking to her about something. I said, oh yeah, this year I rekindled my cousin. She goes like, what do you mean? And then I said, yeah, we didn't talk for X amount of years. She was like, Maddie, I don't know why I'm like this, but it's just that.
Hey, maybe that's your coping mechanism, and that's what
Yeah,
works for you. For me, I have a hard time.
Yeah,
with
like
people.
for me, it's like,
Yeah.
and I tell my dad that everybody's capable of being cut.
Even him.
Even my dad.
Wow.
Even my dad. Like
Okay.
everybody is, because, but my dad, I think that
Nutone?
he likes to apologize so much that he tries so
The
much.
people out there, beware of the cutting queen, the
You
cutoff
know,
queen.
Everybody
Okay.
is like
Everybody's a target.
Everybody can get caught. It's just
okay.
that don't hurt my feelings. Don't, like, there are some, and again, I'm not saying I'm my friend. You can yell at me. You can say fuck you. You can say this. I'm not gonna get mad at. But
Okay.
when you hurt me, or like you make me doubt myself, you
Yeah.
attack my core values.
Yeah.
You make me feel like shit.
Yeah.
It's just that my protection, like I need to protect myself.
Yeah, and
so it's
I feel
not
like
just
that
that the
maybe it
little
is a
things. Yeah,
protective
it's not
barrier.
like the little things. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, I ate I couldn't go out with you tonight. It's not the little things. It's not like, oh, you hung up on me today. These things, it's like people get mad, people go through
Yeah.
things, you have reaction, but it's just that once you attack me at a deeper level, and it's just something in me just
Breaks, yeah.
and at this point there's no turning back for me sometime.
And that's fair. Okay, so before we wrap up, we always have like a last little question.
Yes.
So what would be your advice for 20-year-olds, like, you know, people in their 20s or early, like, or younger? What would be your advice to them about friendship?
Like I said, pay attention to your surrounding. Having a friend means that you should be able to have deep conversation with your friend. You should pour into your friend, explain your friend things that are happening to you. It should not just be at a surface level. Life is hard, and it's your community, it's your tribe that helps you go through things. So if some people are really good at compartmentalizing, so you can have the fun friend, but also make sure that you have people that when things are going down, you can give them a call and have a conversation with them, and know that this person is really gonna help you, and that person loves you, and, you know, have that loyalty, believes in you, loves you to really help you through these things that you're going through, because it's like sometimes I hear people like, oh, you know, I love that I'm friends with you because you're the only one I can talk to, but you have a bunch of other friends and it's only one person
That's
you
true.
can talk just because you want to be friends for a bunch of years with people. Doesn't make sense. You talking to someone about certain achievement you want to do and they cannot understand and they arguing with you about that. It doesn't make sense. So pay attention to your surrounding. Your friends can make or break you.
I agree.
So it's very important.
Yeah, I think for me, like what I would say, and I feel like I've learned that in my 20s, and I'm very grateful for knowing that in my 20s, is that like your environment matters a lot. Like I think in my 20s, like in my college days, I had like different groups of friends that did different things for me. But I'm grateful for my core group of friends because they were a very ambitious group, a group that was filled with a lot of drive and were like always wanting to like, you know, be successful and do something. And I had another group of friends that were all about like, you know, partying and like, you know, turning up and being fun and being popular. And when I look at us years later, like I am like me and my group of friends that were core to me, you know, we're all doing very well. And I'm looking at that other group that was so focused on partying and a lot of them, I'm sorry, are not doing what I feel like they could have been doing. Like they're not filling their most potential. Like they're not filling their potential basically. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with the environment that they evolved in, right? I feel like a lot of them, if they were taken out of the environment that they were in their 20s and put in one where people were thriving, doing whatever they needed to do, like they were successful around rich people, around like people who were about their business, you know, they probably would have been a totally different person. They probably would have accomplished so much more because they had so much potential, but it was so wasted because the environment that they stayed in was one that was all about partying and turning up, right? Some of us are strong enough that we can still be in that environment and thrive. But when you're in your 20s or you're younger, you're so impressionable and sometimes you lose sight of what's important and what needs to happen. So having a good group of friends that have their head on their shoulders is very important, or who are going somewhere. Being surrounded by people who are successful, people who are doing things, like having great mentors, like all of that is important. So, but your friend group will make or break you. Like they will play a big role on whether or not you succeed or you fail. So make sure you surround yourself with people who know what they want, people who are doing big things, unless that's not something you care about. But you will care about it in your 30s.
Yeah, and it's also okay to party.
Yeah.
Because it's a balance.
It's a balance.
But you should be paying attention at every level. What is important today?
Yes.
What is, you know, that's very important.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, this was such a great convo.
It was.
Yeah, and we're friends talking about friendship. I mean, I think we're friends, right? I'm your soulmate. Anyways, guys. Thank you for joining us today and like being part of our friendship conversation. We would love to hear about your stories. Yeah. With friendship.
Your icks.
Yeah, and your icks. Like,
and I also want to hear some stories about how great some people have been.
Yeah. Please give us some friendship green flags. And also I want to hear some of the crazy stories like crazy shit that friends did. Because I feel like those are always so juicy. Like, right? Not me trying to be a gossip. But yeah, like follow us, subscribe. And we're so thankful for you guys for listening.
Thank you for joining.
Oh my God podcast.